How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Mullen Automotive. It ended up having a pullback, being down almost 5% on the day. So I'm getting a lot of those questions. What do you see this stock doing going into tomorrow? So I'm going to talk about it in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we're going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for MULN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $2.72, being down 4.90%. On the low, it tested $2.67, and then on the high, testing $2.89. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 75.048 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 157.634 million shares. So we did see below average volume on the day, and it's part of the reasons why we experienced a slight pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 55.67. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, but we are above the 50-day and as well as the 21-day EMA. And this is the same setup we had as far as for yesterday. And as you can see, for the past 4 trading days, there's been a lot of heavy sell volume. And this is why if it continues to have a further pullback, we want to see support hold up at the 21-day EMA, which is at $2.45. It did see a low of $2.67, but if we end up visiting 245 and if it does not hold, then we can start testing right here at the 50-day, which is right around $2. So that's one thing you want to add to your notes. We also have to keep in mind we do have a gap that needs to be filled around $1.79 as well. So that's why we want to see a reversal. We want to see some strength from Mullen. But like I've said in previous videos, we need to have some more volume coming into the stock. And what that would look like, I'd want to see some price action above 289, which was the high of the day. Because if we can get above 289, that's where I want to look forward to seeing how well we perform when we get to the $3 area. Most preferably, I'd want to see some price action above $3.22. If we can get above $3.22, that's where I'm going to be looking for that strong move to where we can get to around 366 and then potentially see if we can make that move to 4. But we do have a lot of volatility in these markets, so that's one thing you want to understand. So if it wants to continue to consolidate while staying above the 21-day EMA, I think this would be the best case scenario. So let's move on to the short interest information. Now let's take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Mullen. Scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So you can see we have some recent filings for April the 5th, both coming from Subsequana International Group. So they purchased calls with a value of 50,900 shares, and they also see a share position only of 80,562 shares as well. So that is good to see. And then when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 54.16%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 29.10 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 0, updated 18 minutes ago, and then for the short ball free rate, it is at 73.66%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, you can see for the close of the first, it was at 44.20, and then for the close of the fourth, it was at 54.16. So one thing that is clear, Mullen does continue to have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Mullen. So we see on the inflow it's at 39.96 million, and then on the outflow it's at 41.80 million. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large it was 2.45 million, on the medium it was 27.33 million, and then on the small it was 10.18 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, it was at 2.64 million. On the medium, it was 29.93 million. And then on the small, it was 9.23 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for April the 5th, which is today, we had an outflow of negative 0.19 million. But for the past 5 trading days, they have all been outflow days, so a lot of selling. And then when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 31.56%. So this is not too bad for a stock like Mullen whatsoever. And this is why you want to keep a very close eye on this play. Yes, there are traders who are interested, but when we take into consideration what we discussed in the short interest information, you want to keep this on watch, because as far as for this volatile week that we could have a potential spike. I'll talk about it further inside of the final thoughts, so let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for Mullen, when it comes to the price action, we want to hold support above $2.45. And the reason why this is important, this is right where we have the 21-day EMA. If we break through this level, then there's a potential chance where we can come all the way down to $2, which is where we have the 50-day moving average. And we can't forget there's a gap to the downside that needs to be filled right around $1.79. I'm not saying that these levels are going to be visited this week. Let me be clear about that. But what I am saying, as long as Mullen stays above 245, it can look bullish. Just have that consolidation. It gets us ready for that next move up. And as far as for the next level, you want to look out for a strong reversal. I want to see some price action above $3.62. The moment we can get above $3.62, I feel there'll be some more buying coming in, and it could push the stock back to $4. So that is one thing you want to be aware of. But we also have to understand for Wednesday, we do have the Fed minutes that are going to be coming out. And if it ends up being very hawkish, then we could see some more weakness in the market, and we could have a strong sell-off. And that's where you want to see those support levels hold up. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see there has been some activity, but there also is some clear hedging that is happening. No surprises. And then when we took a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. Plus, on top of that, as far as for the short borrow fee, it is increasing. If you remember what I said in the previous video, it was around 68%. And now it is at just over 73%. So that's why you want to keep a very close eye on this play, because if this short borrow fee continues to increase, then this play could have a very strong spike. And if you see there's more buying and more volume coming into the play, that's where you can start really taking advantage and seeing how well it could do to the upside. I want to make sure I'm being very clear about this. When you see the volume dying down and it's not looking the same like it was before when Mullen was running up, you should be concerned, because that just means there's going to be some weakness in the stock. So again, we need that volume. We need to see a strong day inside of the market so Mullen can benefit from this, and as well as many other stocks as well. So tomorrow will definitely be interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will continue to keep you guys inside of the loop. We'll talk soon.